Okay, so today we're going to really get into it with MoKoN's Too Much Thought.
Yeah.
We've got the lyrics right here and a lot of notes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, it seems like from the messages we've been getting, listeners are really trying to understand this one.
Absolutely.
It's very dense,
Yeah.
and even maybe a little bit cryptic at times.
A little bit, yeah.
So are you ready to kind of like break this down?
Oh, absolutely. I think Too Much Thought is more than a song. It's a statement.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that I find really interesting is that MoKoN is clearly a very introspective person.
Right.
And but I also think the way he's using these metaphors and imagery is almost like giving us this puzzle to try and figure out.
Totally. And there's a lot of lines in here that really stop you in your tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Like right off the bat, you know, reviving a version. I tried to forget. They knew me was too busy writing a fence. What made any sense?
Yeah.
I mean, whoa.
Yeah.
It seems like he's really wrestling with something there.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you make of that riding a fence image that he uses?
It's a brilliant image,
Yes.
right? I mean, I think riding a fence speaks so much to this kind of internal conflict that he's trying to resolve.
Right.
And, you know, it suggests that he's sort of caught between these choices or even these past identities and how that kind of makes him the artist he is now.
Right.
And it makes you wonder, you know, does too much thought, you know, does overthinking actually kind of keep him from moving forward?
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
You know, the song itself is called Too Much Thought.
Right.
And like what you're saying is that is potentially the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
That overthinking is almost like a self-sabotage.
It could be. Yeah.
And then he goes on right after that about like reviving the old Mo
Yeah.
and coming back after being forgotten.
Hmm.
So what's going on there? Is that a comeback? Is that him announcing a rebrand?
It feels like a rebirth, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot more nuance to it than just a comeback. You know, he's got that line, Vine without a track dropped, and TikTok.
Yeah.
I think those are really telling
Okay.
because it suggests this commentary on, you know, what it means to sort of go viral and have that sort of internet fame
Right.
versus what it means to be taken seriously as an artist.
Yeah.
And I think what he's trying to do is sort of distance himself from that whole world of just trends.
Yeah.
You know, the internet moves so fast.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to show that he's here to stay.
Yeah.
He wants to have a legacy. He's not just trying to, you know, get a lot of views.
It's like he's drawing a very clear distinction
I think so.
between like the old Mo that maybe did chase those things
Yeah.
and who he's becoming as an artist now.
Right.
Yeah. There's a real sense of purpose that I'm
Okay.
getting from those lines.
Mm.
But then the energy really shifts.
Yeah.
Like he starts talking about how he's going to defor these cowards.
Mm.
And, you know, he's talking about other rappers that empower selfishly, constantly shower their fans with encounters they've never been found in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it gets pretty aggressive here.
It does.
Who do you think he's calling out in these lines?
I think that's the million-dollar question. I
Yes.
mean, is he dissing someone specifically?
Right.
Is it a critique of the industry as a whole?
Yeah.
Or is this even a little bit of like, you know, him struggling with his own sense of authenticity?
Mm-hmm.
We know that, you know, rappers diss each other all the time in their music.
For sure.
So that's definitely possible.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it could also be this commentary on, you know, rappers putting on a show
Right.
to kind of maintain their image.
Yeah.
I think that line about encounters they never been found in really gets at that.
Yeah.
It makes you think like what is real and what is just manufactured.
Absolutely. It makes you really question what's genuine and what's just, you know, for the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about MoKoN's style.
Yeah.
There's this one line that I keep coming back to.
Okay.
It's moonshine of smoke and loud gas,
Mm-hmm.
blue flame burner, copper coil, dripping clear cash.
Hmm.
I mean, first of all, it's such a vivid image.
Yeah.
What do you think he's trying to convey there?
I think he's really evoking this sense of luxury, maybe even a sense of excess.
Okay.
And there's a bit of danger in there too with the moonshine and the loud gas.
Yeah.
I think it could be a nod to a certain lifestyle.
Right.
And this kind of ties back to what we were saying earlier about authenticity.
Yeah.
You know, is this MoKoN just being himself?
Right.
Or is he putting on a show for us?
Is it really his life, or is it just this carefully constructed image?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the mystery
It is,
of this whole
yeah,
song.
yeah.
And then right at the end to top it all off,
Mm-hmm.
he says, "Rap God."
Hmm.
I mean, what a statement.
Yeah.
What do you make of that line?
Rap God is loaded. I mean, on one level, it could be him saying, I'm aiming for the top.
Mm.
I want to be one of the greats.
Oh,
But
yeah.
knowing everything else he's talking about in the song,
Yeah.
it could also be very ironic. Like he's critiquing the whole idea of a rap god.
Mm.
I think it's brilliant because it leaves it open to interpretation.
Yeah.
Is he embracing that label?
Right.
Or is he kind of making fun of it?
Is he wrestling with the idea of being a rap god?
Yeah, I think it's all in there.
So, taking a step back and looking at too much thought as a whole.
Yeah.
We've got these different themes running through it.
Mm-hmm.
Identity reinvention, authenticity,
Mm-hmm.
a pretty sharp critique of the music industry, all coming back to this idea of overthinking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's complex.
It is.
It definitely makes you think.
I think what's so great about it is that it's also very human.
Mm.
He's being really honest about his insecurities and his ambitions and his frustrations with the world. I think he's inviting us to look a little deeper and to question, what we see on the surface.
Absolutely.
And to think about, all these expectations.
Yeah.
In a world that often seems to care more about image than anything else.
Well, this definitely left me with a lot to think about.
Me too.
And for everyone listening, I want to leave you with this. MoKoN's wrestling with this idea of being a rap god. But what does that even mean today?
Right.
Is it about talent, influence, money, or something else entirely?
Huh.
What do you think of that?